Yo, what it do? What it do? Hey, I'm Ryals and we're back again just for you. Hey, hopefully everybody's doing all right today. Get this thing where it is, where it needs to be. You want it set up as a tent? All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Gotta get the munchkin set up here. Hold on. You know, you got perfect timing, Micah, every time. Right as I get the video started, you need everything done. What's good? What's good, everybody? What up, Jace? What up, Wicked? What up, Gauntlet? Daniel Berry? Everybody tuning in. Birds. What is good? What is good? I got him, Micah. Jam cookies. We are going to attempt to remake the show from yesterday. There will be no NFC East podcast today, as Mark Holmes is having some type of family emergency. That's all I know. That's all I can tell. But so there won't be no actual podcast that I will be live on today. So we'll just be us, and I'm going to try to remake the show from yesterday. And since there's not a game that's being downloaded, it should work. There we go. There we go. Substantially better. It should work substantially better. And I apologize for yesterday. What up, Messi? I apologize for that garbage. That performance that I put out on that. Man, that was just a doo-doo video. I'm glad y'all, I was so loyal. Y'all sat through every bit of it. And I felt bad. That shit was doo-doo. Hopefully we get a lot better results today. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and start off. I got a couple of these videos.
Look, man, y'all know.
I didn't even get it started. All right. Let me get the screen shared up here. And then let me know if you guys can hear the content as well. This is some news that has come out that was about to Terry McMillan. He said it just ruined his chances to be with head coach Brian Schottenheimer of the Dallas Cowboys. It does have a question mark, so I'm not sure if he's performing this as a question or as an answer. That I do not know. Let me get plugged up here real quick before the phone wants to go. I'm watching you on my phone and computer. That's dope. Hey, I'm doing the same thing here. But let me get the hide chat overlay. There we go. There we go. Now we'll get my video back up in here. So we get this thing built up in the air here a little bit. We might be all right. I'm probably gonna make this the big one and me the small one. There we go. All right. So yeah, this is AM. Oh, no, knowing damn well. well that I had just started live, unless it was an emergency. The stream's still up and good. Everything's still good. All right, hold on one second. Let me make sure that this was not an important call, because she knows that I'm live right now. So make sure. Hold on one second, guys. Just give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about that, chat. All right, so what we're doing today is we're going to remake the video from yesterday that was a total doo-doo show. Horrible performance that I put out. I'm embarrassed by it. It's just, I was trying to download a video game, and then I tried to do a live stream in the middle of that download, and it dragged my internet down. I've got to get that upgraded so that I'm able to do different downloads and still be able to do my streaming. But yeah, so that's the mistake that happened yesterday. We're gonna go ahead and get back into this though. This is AOC with Attack on Cowboys. This is his channel, him reacting to something between Tara McMillan, the top wide receiver draft prospect, or one of the top, depending on however you look at it, versus why he now won't be qualified, I would say, for chances to play with Brian Schottenheimer. I'm not sure. This is the first of me hearing of this. I just thought it was a good video I would react to watching it first time with you guys here. So we're going to go ahead and start the video.
No, I don't be for the BS. This gonna be one of those type of videos, but I am not a hypocrite, and I'm not about to.
Get my audio. What up, Crystal? What it do? What it do? Get my head order here. Let me know if you guys can hear this video when I play it. I'm going to try to play it without headphones, actually.
To sit here and act like a hypocrite. There is no way in hell I can fix my mouth, or anybody should be able to fix their mouth to criticize or critique of Micah Parsons for some of the stuff that he was doing off the field and acting like that type of stuff is a distraction to actual football activities, but then in the same breath make excuses for one of the top prospects in this year's draft, albeit apparently, allegedly, this clip we're about to watch was from his freshman year. So he could have possibly matured a little bit, changed his thought process, but we're just talking about the actual thought process itself. We're not actually talking about the player who he is today because we don't know how he actually feels about this. But I refuse to be a hypocrite.
So one thing, this is, I guess, from his freshman year, a couple of years before now. So there, I guess, a bunch of criticism going around about Terry McMillan based on this video he posted his freshman, or this video of him. I don't know that he posted it. Going around his freshman year of, man, that's what they do though. These top draft prospects, right before the draft comes up, people try to dig up any and everything they can on them just to try to throw something out there and be like, look, this is his. And I wouldn't doubt that if some team didn't leak all this information to try to make his draft prospect drop to a lower number where they might be. Who knows? I'm not picking nobody out, but I'm just saying that that's not a thought that might have crossed. But we'll get back into it here. But yeah, I guess he's about to start the video here soon.
You cannot criticize Micah Parsons and then act like that these comments we're about to hear are just perfectly fine. It's normal. It's no cause for concern at all. Stop it, bruh. Stop it. Let's get right into it. Y'all be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content just like this. All right, y'all. So we got Tetairoa McMillan here, Arizona wide receiver, projected top 10 pick, and some people have him falling down their draft boards now. But we got Ted McMillan here.
Exactly.
And
exactly. I mean, and this is my thoughts ain't nothing on AOC about this. I think AOC is an intelligent person. I think he puts out phenomenal content, and it's very enjoyable. I watch it all the time. Attack on Cowboys is who this is, and shout outs to him. Hopefully, he doesn't mind me reacting to his video here. But yeah, for sure. So all my input is mostly towards the actual content that he's watching, and I'm listening to what his opinion is on it as well. Most of the time, I do agree with AOC, though.
Just listen to the answer that he gave on this clip right here.
Watch football? At all.
At all.
So he was saying, I don't.
You don't watch football? At all.
At all.
So they asked him.
All right, yeah. I was about to say, now they're about to ask the question. I was going to say, that's a critic. Like,
you don't watch football? He said, I don't at all. What? Here we
that he don't watch football. So does this mean as in like he don't study football? He just plays it. It's just something that is natural to him. Hey, maybe that is the case. But I don't know why that would be such a hypocritical moment. I guess AOC might break it down here a little more for us.
Here we go. I'm getting PTSD flashbacks of Mozzie Smith. Let's keep it going.
Is it hard to watch film then if you don't like watching football?
Yeah.
For real? That's crazy.
I don't like watching film either.
Yeah, he ain't watching much film. I mean, that could be a knock. Most coaches will require their players to be watching the film so that they can get better and critique their own craft and make it as good as they can. But
don't ever need to watch it by myself because we go over as a receiver group.
I don't need to watch it by myself because we go over it as a receiver group. Yeah, I mean, they go over the general basis of it, but if you want to hone in and, sharpen your craft as good as you can, like, if you're truly not doing any of that with the talent you have, the level that he may be able to be better at, mentally wise in the game, could probably grow substantially if he was willing to watch film and study and critique his own craft. But apparently he don't. So he just goes based off his raw skills and whatever they find in the receiver room, which is generally a generalized breakdown.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about right here. It's more about the mentality. And my guy Foots right here. Foots the king. My guy, and I have no problem calling my dude out by name because he know it's all love. He's my guy. He know I would do this exactly the same thing to him if we was talking about this face to face. Foots, no way, bro. We cannot let this slide. You cannot act like this is cool. You can't act like it's nothing. Shucks. When you yourself have criticized Micah Parsons for some of his off the field activities, bro. You yourself have talked about how that impacts the rest of the locker room and all that kind of stuff, bro. So you telling me that a guy that's supposed to be the top talent on your team saying that, nah, I don't like watching football. I don't like watching film. I don't need to watch film by myself. We watch it with my again. Apparently this was his freshman season. But if this is a look into the psyche of Teteroya McMillan, I'm good. Matthew Golden, anybody else, I'm good. We've been here. And please, I need people to please stop acting like this is something that's normal. It's something we hear all the time. Yeah, it's probably normal from bums on the damn street that had dreams of being an NFL. Sorry, I watch football. I keep up with this stuff. Probably we're all.
Yeah, this man pretty much new media. He is where I would get a lot of information coming in about the Cowboys because he is on top of every tidbit about the Cowboys coming in. So, and that's not probably all he does. I'm sure he does even more than that. But he's on top of everything that comes through Cowboys. And I do look to him. He's one of the guys. He's actually up and coming himself in the last couple of years. And he's growing fast because he does put out very good content. I would love to be able to get my clip out. This is what I meant, though, by the clip out. You probably can't see my mouse, but outlining his person, like, I want to be able to take the background out of mine. But what up, Sarah? What up, Messi? Green Bay is, God damn, the trash talk commences. No, really. I'm going to get back in this clip.
All these mythical players that are coming out that are playing at the top of their games, coming out saying, oh, I don't like watching film. I don't watch film. I don't watch football. Where's all these guys that's saying that? Because I haven't started hearing stuff like that until we heard that Georgia quarterback, Carson Beck, come out and say that this past season. That was the first time I've heard an athlete playing at a decently high level come out and say something like that, because this doesn't fly in any facet of life.
Now, I will say I have heard this. I've heard this a few times. I have heard this a few times from different players over the years. Now, it's not something that's commonly said by players, but this is something that I have heard other players come out and say, like, I don't watch tape. And some of them players were very good players. I couldn't remember who it was at the time, but I was surprised when I heard it. So I'm sure, and it's been a few years since I've probably heard it, but it is stuff that you do hear. It's just not very common for sure.
If you're a doctor, your patients don't want to hear you tell them you don't like reading up on your damn craft, or you don't like.
And this is, again, I agree with AOC. But at the end of the day, if the person is performing and producing on the field, then this isn't even a question. Like, it won't matter, which is why we don't hear about this that much, because a lot of the players that are really good, that are a lot of diva type players or egotistical type players, they don't watch tape. So, I mean, it's probably more common than it is vocalized about it being common, but this isn't like completely out of the normal. What up, Gauntlet? All right, man. You out, brother? You have a blessed day, bro. Stay blessed, man.
Like watching procedures done so you can get better at what you're doing. No patient wants to hear, oh no, I don't really practice. I just get out there and use my natural ability and what I already know. No one wants to hear that. You're running a business or managing anything or doing anything with your life at all. The people that you're dealing with are going to want to know that you are invested in your craft.
Is he gonna play anymore?
You don't need that dude having that mentality. If he's wanting to be self-motivated, dudes be pinned on your now.
Right, so yeah, that is the end of that video. The rest of it, he's just going to continue to go in on his opinion on how he thinks you need to hone your craft, which I do as well. What up, Alyssa? What it do? So there ain't much more on that. I've already given my opinion. If you do want to go watch that video in its entirety, AOC, his name is Attack on Cowboys. He is, like I said, a very good YouTuber that's coming out. He puts out everything coming out Cowboys. New school media for that instance. All right, I do have a couple other videos here. I got one about Ashton Genty. I guess he was, you mentioned the NFL. He was talking with, who is this boy? Destroying, the guy that does all those, Heavy. We'll take the handles off. Oh, yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead and play this clip here. I don't know if I can get it anymore.
You mentioned the NFL, obviously. Is there a team you want to go to? Is there like a top?
If I could script it, my family's all in Texas. I used to play in the Cowboys practice stadium.
Okay.
I feel like that would just be the perfect city to play in.
Jerry Jones, make the call.
Hey.
You mentioned the NFL, obviously.
So that's Genty saying he would love to be a Dallas Cowboy. Hey. All right, so we got another one here. This is Cowboys news. Shamar Stewart. No, I'm not getting into this one yet. We'll get into it, though. That's talking about this. All right, we'll just play this right here. It says, Cowboys owner ready to trade the farm for this one player. This is Law Nation. Shout outs to him. And go ahead and check out what he's got to say on this topic here.
So good old Jerry Jones is infatuated with one particular player in this upcoming draft. And we got to talk about this. Jerry Jones is reportedly infatuated with my guy over here, Travis Hunter.
I've heard Jerry really likes Travis Hunter. So
no way.
That's a very Dallas Cowboy move.
They're going to have to give up the farm for a cornerback? They're drafting 12.
Just because they like him doesn't mean they're going to do it.
Draft his next prime, huh?
You never know.
Wow.
No doubt. So that would be a good thing, and this would be a situation and scenario if somehow Travis, or I'm going to tell y'all that I don't think that he will fall because of the dynamic.
We all know that that's probably absolutely 100% the truth. I don't see Travis Hunter falling to 12. Not a chance in hell. And honestly, as much as I'd like to have Travis Hunter on my team, I don't think the Cowboys will be trading up to get him. I don't think that they would give up that much equity to move up for a. Now, it is a cornerback wide receiver. He is the only one coming from Deion Sanders right now that can play like Deion Sanders. I'm not saying he is or as good as Deion, but can kind of play like him with the switching back and forth between wide receiver and corner. But all right, we'll get back into it.
Pieces of his game, right? And you got to look at all of the other factors to put into place. Whereas the Cowboys, yes, we need another wide side of CeeDee Lamb, help at DB, because we don't know the timetable for, dare I say, Trayvon Diggs. So all of these things plays a major role, and he can give you two birds with one stone, right? He can cover those type of things, and he can be that.
All right, so I want to ask a question. Are you guys hearing the audio with an echo, or is it just the audio? Because I believe I got it set up right, because I'm not hearing me echo in my ear anymore. Just want to make sure that you guys aren't getting an echo with the audio. If so, I can correct that too. I just want to make sure.
At cornerback as well as DB, and he can help you out in so many factors, and he will bring in that X factor to the game, especially the dog reach up and climb and get that ball up out of the sky. So when we start to talk about these things, ladies and gentlemen, and this guy wearing the sign that says I'm open, right? I can tell you, I'm not going to think that the Cowboys will entertain this, but we've seen crazier things in the Cowboys. If you're Jerry Jones and he's a long tooth, I'm talking about that tooth is long. Just don't.
Really long. And I think he's about to go in and say, if you do this, we all know that this most likely is a not going to happen case. What up, James? What it do? What it do? I do not see this happening in the Cowboys' future in this upcoming draft. I just don't see this happening. Not like I was saying, Travis Hunter is the only one so far coming from Dion that can play like him, and his sons can't do it. That's for damn sure. So, yes, ma'am, Crystal, yes, ma'am. But I think he's the only one. I think Dion we wish that Travis Hunter was his son. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't really truly believe that, but with the talents that Travis Hunter possesses, Dion might feel like that's one of his own. No echo here. All right, sweet. I appreciate that, Crystal. All right, so I don't need to get into the rest of this video. That was really what the video was about. He's just going to break down the rest of it again. If you want to watch this video in its entirety, Law Nation Sports is where you can find it. Check him out. He is one of the, I would say, top, if not the top, Cowboys content creator. Maybe you can say Tom Downey, but Tom Downey's kind of pushed by a broader prospect, which we do have a Tom Downey one coming up as well here that I'm going to play. But if you want to go watch that video in its entirety, definitely go check out Law Nation. This one we already checked out. All right, so this one right here is the Cowboys report by Chat Sports. This is Tom Downey. We're going to go ahead and break this down. It's Cowboys news for NFL 25 draft. Shamar Stewart, Shavon Rebel, Damian Martinez, and Tara McMillan. There we go.
Welcome back into the Cowboys Report. Several news items on the 2025 NFL Draft to discuss on today's show. 2 new 30 visits being reported/announced. There's allegedly heavy interest in this particular back. Some Dallas Day, the local visit news to break down, and we'll discuss Tyrone McMillan and his comments that went viral over the weekend. Before we get into all of that, Marshall Green, who's feeling the desperation of not having as much success as we do, said we couldn't get to 40 shares on today's show. Prove him wrong by sharing today's video for me on social media. So 2 new 30 visits. The year limited to 30. That's why they're called 30 visits. Official formal meetings with the Cowboys. Indication of interest or at least.
These are people that the Cowboys are having come in the building. They get 30 draft pick prospects that they can bring in the building and do their own long-term or long-form interview. Instead of being a quick interview at like the Combine was, they actually get a full, whatever it is, a couple hours, I would imagine, that they can spend with this person and actually get a full interview and see who this person is truly. And they brought in Shavon Rebel Jr., cornerback, ECU, East Carolina University. And then we got Shamar Stewart, who I believe we all know who he is. He's an edge rusher. He was a dog for Texas A&M. And those would be 2 great players to add to our defense. But I would highly doubt we'd ever be able to get both of them. But we'll go ahead and bring this in.
At least wanting to verify or take someone off a board for something. So noteworthy visits.
Right,
Shavon Rebel, the cornerback out of
I
ECU, and
completely.
Shamar Stewart, the edge rusher from Texas.
You already know that I'm going to have to stop here and there to get my kids what they need to do. That's just kind of my life habits. That's kind of what I got to do. I got to take care of them. So, but yeah, I completely understand.
A&M. Let's begin with Stewart. He would have to be a first-round pick by the Cowboys. He would either be a trade-down scenario or stick and pick at number 12. But there are questions about him. For starters, Dude's a freak athlete.
Mm-hmm.
4.58 40-yard dash at 6'5", 260.
So here is his actual. Oh, we can make this bigger. Get it a little bigger for you guys. Hopefully, there we go. There we go. All right. His hand size. Shamar Stewart, 9.63. That's pretty. I wouldn't say that's a very big hand. I think that's probably fairly average. Arm length, 34.13. Height. I don't know what they go by here in height. Composite size of grade. Oh, so that's just grade. So green means elite and yellow means good. I guess I was reading this thing all wrong. I was just looking at it as like not for grades, but like the actual statistics. So he's only got one that's in the yellow, and that's still good. But everything else is elite grades. His height is in elite. His weight is in good, which probably means he probably just needs to add on a few pounds. His 40-yard dash is in the great slot. His 20-yard split is in the great spot. His 10-yard split is in the great slot. Composite explosion, they're both elite, broad and vertical jump. That's so. I mean, obviously he's a dog, but will the Cowboys get him? I don't know. I think he'll be gone before where we would want to pick him.
67. He's got 34-plus-inch arms, a 40-inch vert, a 10.01 broad. This is everything you could want from a testing perspective with Shamar Stewart. That level of athlete is insane.
I agree.
How do you have 4.5 career sacks with that?
Right? Like, how do you have all those elite statistics, and in the 3 years you were there, you got 4 sacks. 4 sacks. You got a sack and a half every year. So you got 4.5 sacks. You did get 79 pressures, which that's very commendable. Very high pressure rate. 1 forced fumble. 6, 8, 12 tackles for loss. 65 tackles total. So, I mean, he still had very high numbers. Just that sack number, that's the one that gets you. But you also got to watch how Texas A&M plays as a team as well. So, go ahead and continue this on.
Doesn't make sense. It should not be possible. The pressure rate isn't even as good as what it should be. My comparison here for Shamar Stewart is Jadeveon Clowney. I think he can be a really good run stopper for you. They did a good job of that at A&M.
I could definitely agree with that comparison. And Jadeveon Clowney does sound about like he would probably match fairly well in statistics with this gentleman here.
The combination of the length and the first step is really intriguing. The man's got no pass rush plan. This is someone whose like attack plan is let me run at the offensive lineman, which sometimes works. I mean, there's the rep against Ole Miss where bull rushes the right tackle, knocks him into Jackson Dart, and there's no sack, but the ball's incomplete because the lineman got bull rushed into Jackson.
The one
Dart. There are flashes of it. He's just not consistent. He's not a finisher. That's why I like the Jadeveon Clowney comp, because Clowney is not a finisher either, but he's a freak athlete, helps against the run. I get worried when you start spending a first-round pick, a top 15 pick on someone. You got to start going to the here's why he had no production that matters in college. He is a boom or bust round 1 pick. And kind of like Michael Williams, I think there are some similarities there. I hope and think the Cowboys would have better options than just sitting and taking Shamar Stewart, who could be the best player in the class, or you could just not end up realizing at all.
Yeah.
So grade is next up here. That is the very talented ECU corner. Stop me if you've heard this before. The Cowboys have interest in a talented corner who's coming off an injury, or a talented player who's coming off an injury, and could be a classic Cowboys pick in round 2. They love taking the injured or character guy in the second round because they had a first-round talent. Siobhan Ravel. By the way, the Cowboys team, Dr. Dan Cooper, is the one who did his ACL surgery. Now, again, that gets overblown because team doctor is not going to lie to other teams about where he's at medically. The Cowboys just trust him.
All the NFL teams are going to share all that information. It's going to be public information once the NFL gets a hold of them throughout the draft. So I saw that the first Cowboys game is going to be against. Is it? I thought I heard it was going to be against the Giants, like it normally is. But I mean, I haven't seen anything officially said. I'm just going by what people have said. So I heard the Giants. Now I'm hearing the Eagles. I don't know who we're going to start the season off with at that point. Because now I've heard two teams. So I'm going to have to kind of dig into it and try to find if I can figure out where or who we're playing against. I'm going to go ahead and play some more of this here.
Completely.
I don't know that I'm going to play this whole clip here.
Ravel is an outside corner. He was playing really well before the injury this year. He was on pace, I think, for a really, really impactful season. Doesn't miss very many tackles. I think he is a plus athlete. We just don't get the combine testing because, you know, the medical stuff involved there.
Cover stats, 12 group.
Some things on there. He's got size you covet, the frame you covet. This is very much a Cowboys style corner. It's the type of corner that Will McClay and this Cowboys team historically likes. He times trying to jump routes. That's not necessarily the worst thing ever. Competition jump coming. Round 2 is where I have him graded coming off the ACL. He probably would be a first-round pick, no doubt, if he were fully healthy and played the way that he's mostly played.
Quarterback rating of only 61.2. I mean, those are some really good stats for the man, especially coming out of Carolina. No, as far as I know, it's not.
Career, but the injury could drop him in the second.
What it do, Team Mac? What's good with you?
Second round, which would make him the classic Blue Star special for the Dallas Cowboys. So we are now up to 5 reported 30 visits. There's Bashal Tutin out of Virginia Tech, Alfred Collins, a defensive tackle, Shamar Stewart, Siobhan Ravel, also Andrew Makuba, who we mentioned briefly earlier this past week, safety out of Texas. A lot more to come. There will be a lot more.
All over the board with so far the 5 of the reported 30 visits that will be coming to the Cowboys. All defense except for Bashal Tutin, which is a running back for, is that Vermont or Virginia Tech?
Or backs and receivers and everything else mixed in there as well. Still early in the process. We'll get more of those updates as they come available. We'll get to more draft coverage here, but first, today's show is visit. So Quinn Ewers counts as a Dallas Day visitor. NFL also allows you to kind of like not always have it on the same day, so I think Quinn's coming on April 2nd, I believe. Chandler Rogers, who played at North Texas too, now was last at Cal, which would be a kind of a camp arm, but you need someone to throw passes, right? Ashton Genty is also a Dallas Day visitor. That is a big one to keep an eye out for. Ollie Gordon out of Oklahoma State, also a reported announced Dallas Day visitor. And there's Damian Martinez. We'll come back to some other names here in a minute, but I want to spend a little bit.
They're all coming to the Dallas Day visits. Just these are quick visits where there'll be a bunch of people. This ain't like the reported interviews that were on the page before this. These will be much shorter interviews, but it's still more people that are coming through to actually be able to get in one-on-one interviews and get to see what type of person and player they're going to be.
More time here on Martinez, who was a high school player in the area. The report from Tony Pauline, which Pauline's hit and miss. But a little bit of grain of salt sometimes there. He says the Cowboys have heavy interest in drafting Damian Martinez. Now, he reports that Martinez has an official 30 visit set up with the Dallas Cowboys, who, if they don't come with Ashton Genty in the
So they got heavy interest. Martinez has an official 30 visit set up with the so he does have an official 30 visit coming up too. If they don't come away with Ashton Genty in the first round, we'll target Martinez on day 2. All right. So I'm gonna have to go watch some tape on Martinez from the U.
First round, we'll target Martinez on day 2. Again, Martinez counts for Dallas Day. There's some crossed wires on that front. But I think in that third round in particular, which is about where I have Martinez graded, that's where you kind of start to get some intriguing options. Martinez was a 1,000-yard rusher at both Miami and at Oregon State. He's got good size, runs with power. He's built, 5'11" and change, 217. Had really good production for Oregon State. Hasn't done a lot in the passing game and has really dropped too many passes. The 4.51 40-yard dash.
Hold on one second. All right, there we go. Perfection. Perfection is key. Make sure you guys like and comment the video. All right, we'll get back into it now.
Dash that Martinez posted was really good time for him.
Those are some good career stats. He's got everything in the good range. He's got an elite broad jump, but everything else is in the good range. So, he should be a very solid player at the end of the day. Yeah, so you got someone much smaller with the same 9.5-inch hands. So that shows that those are more of an average number on the hand size there. All right.
Worried about the top end speed, but there are some similarities, and this is a high end comp. I'm focusing athletically. Don't clip this and say I'd say he's as good of a player, but the size, the play style, the power with which he runs, some of the after contact ability, the missed tackles too. There's some similarities athletically and even play style wise to Marshawn Lynch. I think for the Cowboys,
that's an hell of a comp. Marshawn Lynch, what's good, Taylor? What's good?
Down runner who you compare with Javonte Williams as your third down back, that actually makes some sense. So in the third round, which is where I think you'd probably take Martinez, would you be on board? D for draft, P for pass. Let me know in the comments section of today's show if you take Martinez. D for draft, P for pass.
I would take
other Dallas Day visitors, Andrew Henry, who had kind of a weird final season with eligibility stuff. Savion Williams, the Dallas Day visitors.
So here are the other Dallas Day visitors. You got Andrew Henry, running back out of Mexico. Savion Williams. I've watched some tape on Savion, wide receiver at TCU. I think he's a really good player. Cam Camper, haven't much of him. Wide receiver from Boise State. Craig Woodson, safety, Cal. And Hudson Clark, DB, Arkansas. That's crazy. We are definitely looking for a lot of defensive players and then wide receiver, running back. Why is your bike, Micah? All right. So those are the players coming in for the Dallas Day. Thank you for joining today. Please remember to like and subscribe to the live stream. You have not please today. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please do. Please do. Appreciate you, Crystal. All right, so we're going to go ahead and play this. It says, we've got you covered on all the Cowboys rumors for the draft. So now we're going to hear about the rumors that have been coming through that I've been mentioning previously in other videos. Maybe he'll have them all covered here. I don't know, but we're going to react to it right now.
For more free Cowboys YouTube videos. Let's have the Tedero McMillan conversation then. He obviously went viral. If you haven't seen it, it's type in T-Mac on Twitter, like the first thing that pops up.
So, of course, he's going to talk about the T-Mac one that we did watch with AOC.
Full name. For his comments about football. Of note, from his freshman year, there's been a lot of misinformation out there somehow on a 20-second clip, which is insane to me, but whatever. From his freshman year, which I think is context to mention. Said he doesn't like watching football, doesn't enjoy watching actual football games, doesn't like watching film / doesn't watch film on his own. Now, there's a lot of things to break down. There's really two parts. Let's begin with the doesn't like watching football stuff. That isn't actually an issue for me. It's weird.
Agreed. To me, it's not really an issue. That's his decision if he doesn't want to hone his own craft. Now, if he's an ass player, like if he comes in and he's playing like ass, no, you got to go get yourself watching some damn tape. If he comes in, he's a star. I ain't got no problem. No problem with it whatsoever. There's no reason to. So it depends. If he comes in playing like he played in college, then I doubt there'll be an issue. If he comes in playing and he's struggling, no, that boy needs to go get in that damn locker room and study the hell up.
To hear, but he is not unique in that feeling in the NFL. That is not a uniquely held opinion. Like, how do you guys think that Puka Nacua didn't know what division the Rams played?
Exactly. Puka Nacua didn't watch really any football. We got his cousin on our team, and Marius Lawafu. Marius Lawafu. I can't pronounce his last name. Shout out. He's a linebacker. He's a dog, and you'll probably hear a lot of him this year. But Marius Luafau, who is Puka Nacua's cousin, probably didn't watch it either. They grew up together, so if one wasn't watching it, the other probably wasn't. But I could be wrong on that. But there was rumors about Puka not watching it.
Played in. They didn't know the Lions played indoors. Like, that's very common in the NFL. Curtis Martin, Bill Parcells guy, right? Jets running back, Patriot back, was like, yeah, I watched like 4 games. Not everyone actually loves watching the NFL.
Exactly. Like, I don't think that this is a big issue. I think that if they're not performing, it can become an issue. But if they're performing, I see no reason for them to have an issue with it. What up, Walt? What it do? Tennessee's out? I got you. Damn. That's who you were going for, wasn't it?
That's jarring for us, though, as fans. Because if you're 12 minutes into a Cowboys YouTube video, you love football. And there's no doubt about that. You love watching football. Everyone here watching this loves watching football. So it is jarring here, NFL.
Yeah, shout out Tom Downey. You figured out that one, brother. Good job.
Love watching.
Now, Tom Downey's obviously one of the top YouTube personnel for the Cowboys, but the only difference between him and like a Law Nation, even though there's 100,000 different subscribers, is the fact that Law Nation is pushed by Law Nation. He is being pushed by whatever the network is that he's on. I can't think of it off the top of my name, but they have a version of this for every city. Tom Downey just happens to be the guy that does it for the Cowboys. They do this for every team on this network. So I don't go to Tom for a lot of things because he's pushed by a network. So I want to hear people and their real opinion on a lot of things, which is what I feel like I get more out of when I'm listening to like Attack on Cowboys or Law Nation or Foots the King or Akoya Media or VOCH Lombardi or Brian Broaddus or Mark Holmes. I feel like I'm going to get more real information from them than I am from someone that's pushed by a network. Now, you got people like Jeff Kavanaugh who have a little bit of a network behind them, and you have people like Will Steele that also have a network behind them that put out really good content. But those networks were almost designed for them and by them and pushed by them, so it was mostly for Dallas content. But Tom's never been my favorite. I've never really gone to his videos for a lot of things, but he does have a lot of the breaking news. It just comes to in a different manner.
Watching football the same
What
way.
up, man?
That's different. It's not necessarily. It's actually a bad thing necessarily, though. Now, the film part could be an issue. I want to emphasize 2 things because I've seen people say, well, he doesn't watch film, period. It's not what he said. He said he doesn't watch it alone. He said he watches it with the rest of the team. Now, that was also 2 years ago. Maybe his opinions have changed. We'll presume it hasn't for the purposes of this conversation. The prep work for football, the film, the practice, all the workouts, all that stuff can be a little bit like school. Look, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of NFL guys that don't like working out either. They do it because it's important to be good at what they do. You can like school, or you can be great at school and not like it at all. You can like school and be bad at it. That's how it goes. That doesn't mean he hates football or he doesn't enjoy football. That's not what he said.
Exactly. He said it's just hard for him to watch football. Like, I love hockey, but it's hard for me to watch hockey. I understand that.
That kind of got
No, Bob. You're being bad. All right.
twisted somehow. How a 20-second clip gets so twisted, I don't really understand, but we'll spend some more time on this. If you haven't already watched it, go watch it. We will not show it due to copyright issues, but
It sounds good, Crystal. Sounds good.
are you out on T-Mac after hearing his comments from 2 years ago? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments of today's show. I am not out on T-Mac after a 20-second clip from his freshman season. In general, the hardest part of, I'll call it media scouting.
Right, so is this all going to be about the Tara McMillan at the end of this? All right, so again, you guys want to watch this video all in its entirety, go check out Cowboys Report by Sports Chats. All right, so Chat Sports is the network. Cowboys Report by Tom Downey by Chat Sports. Go check them out if you want to watch this video in its entirety. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next clip that I want to get in here. This is CFO Sports. This is Justin Tuck, or Jay Tuck, I believe, not Justin Tuck, but Jay Tuck. Runs CFO Cowboys, runs CFO Sports, Cowboys fan. And then he's talking about wide receiver 2 is already on the roster. Is Jonathan Mingo the answer? Here's some film study, and he's going to break it down and explain why he thinks that might be the case, I believe. Or not the case. I don't know. I haven't watched this video.
CFO gang, it's your boy Jay Tuck, real Cowboys fans stand up, and today I want to talk about Jonathan Mingo. Now, I know the hot topic of discussion with Dallas Cowboys fans is, we need a wide receiver too. And listen,
what up, M2? What's good with you? What's good?
I agree with 1,000% with that. Where we need a true wide receiver too, opposite of CeeDee Lamb. But we know the Dallas Cowboys traded a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo, and a lot of people are saying Tuck why, and I know emotionally I don't understand it, right? But y'all know how we do on the
I don't think any of us Cowboys fans understand it. I think we all were expecting them to go get some type of receiver that has already been established in the NFL to come in and be a good veteran number 2, so that the rookie that we get this year could be the number 3 and learn underneath the veterans. Now, you could say Jalen Tolbert, you could say Jonathan Mingo. This is giving some props to Jonathan Mingo here, but at the end of the day, they're unproven, and Jalen Tolbert hasn't produced for us yet. There are other people like Ryan Flournoy, and others, Jalen Brooks. There's a few others that we have as well in the depths for the Cowboys and wide receiver room, but none of them are proven, and none of them have stepped up to the basics. We got Jonathan Mingo at the end of the year last year, at the end of the trade deadline, throughout the season. He had like 1 catch. I think he had like 4 attempts. He just didn't really have an opportunity under Mike McCarthy's system. Maybe Brian Schottenheimer will use him much better. I think that he will. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this through and check it out. Whoa, I'm surprised you haven't already subbed to Crystal. Crystal's been through. She done bought like 20 people memberships. Crystal's that girl. We appreciate her for sure.
This channel, I want to go through the film to see if we can see what the Cowboys are seeing when it comes to Jonathan Mingo, and could there be some signs that shows that he is going to get the opportunity to be wide receiver 2 next year in Dallas, and maybe they don't feel there's a sense of urgency when it comes to drafting a wide receiver early in the draft like we do. Now, when it comes to Jonathan Mingo, we know he was a second, or what was he, a pick? He was a second round draft pick of the 2023 draft class, and went to Carolina Panthers. Now, the main attraction for Jonathan Mingo, I'm trying to think back to that draft class, right, is of course he coming out of Ole Miss, so that's DK Metcalf.
I'm gonna put a poll up here in the chat to see how many people. What up, Jeff Lee? What it do? What's good with you? I'm gonna put a poll up here in the chat to see how many people think that Jonathan Mingo could be a potential number 2 wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to put the poll up, and we'll see what the percentage comes across as throughout the video here with this clip anyways. I might change the poll after this clip, but that's what I'm going to put up for right now. Let me get it loaded up. Poll. All right. We'll go ahead and set that poll. There we go. What up, man? Matthew Golden. I like Matthew Golden. He's got good speed and a good height. I think he could be good, but that's really all he has going for him. No, that was John. That was Taylor. Turpin. That was Cavante Turpin. Turpin, I think he could be. Jonathan Mingo is the receiver we picked up at the end of the season at the trade deadline from the Commanders. He was the 2023 second-round draft pick for the Panthers that year. And we got him at the end of the season this year. And then we didn't really give him but like maybe 4 attempts. Oh, it's been all right. It's been all right. We didn't have the actual podcast today with Mark Holmes and the other people because there was someone that had a family emergency, so we're not doing that podcast here today. So we're just doing this video here to break down these lives and break down these football clips on the Cowboys. Turpin, I think Turp would be a good receiver. Yeah, Turpin was. This is about Jonathan Mingo.
Jay Brown, like, you know, starting to be big wide receiver Trey Harris this year. But he was a RAS score guy. He lit the RAS score up like a Christmas tree. So it was a lot of green. And I think a lot of people got excited about Jonathan Mingo, but it hasn't really translated at the NFL level thus far in his career. I mean, he only has about 600 total yards, about 700 total yards, and he hasn't even gotten into the end zone once. Zero, zilch, nada, right? We have the same amount of touchdowns as Jonathan Mingo, but let's go ahead and talk about what we see on the film.
I don't know what's worse, the way these refs ride these number 1 seeds and favor the calls for them, or the committee that's ruining these games. Yeah, I think the committee, honestly, it's hard. It's hard to put it past them.
Film to see if there's any traits that can give us some optimism or hope when it comes to the upside of
Messi? Welcome back through.
Mingo. So on this very first play right here, you'll see just a simple comeback route. But what we are going to really focus on is the traits when it comes to Jonathan Mingo. So him coming off the line of scrimmage. So honestly, I like his stance. Good quality.
Honestly, his stance didn't really look like he was. I mean, he was in a normal, average stance, but it didn't. It looked like he was kind of just there, like not like ready to go. Especially for the opportunities that he didn't get last year. He didn't get many of them, so I figured he would be more ready. Because if you look at his back, it looks like there's a little bit of a slouch to it, and it's just that doesn't mean to me anything particularly, but it kind of gives off vibes of like, yeah, I'm here.
Tried. Boom, boom, boom.
All right, 1 second here, guys, real quick. I gotta go grab some groceries out the car. Yes, ma'am. Sarah with the mod. Congrats. Yes, ma'am. All right. Let me get back into this. Sorry about that. I had to get some groceries in the house real quick.
Stick. Actually, it was a curl.
Actually, hold on. Let me go back a few seconds at the start of the play.
Honestly, I like his stance. Good quality stride. Boom, boom, boom. Stick. Actually, it was a curl. I'll say come back right. Simple curl route. Extended hands. Simple catch, right? Now, when I watch this play, what I'm really looking at is one, his get off, which I think is perfectly fine. But is he able to stress this corner vertical? Because if not, what's going to happen? And you'll see that in some of the film as we progress, right? That they're going to stick on these hitches, these curls, these comeback routes because they don't consider it a vertical threat. So I want to see, is he able to kind of...
I think he kind of gave off a vertical threat aspect for the DB. I think the DB kind of bit on it a little bit. He did create some good separation there. I mean, there's what, 3 yards of separation there, maybe 4. I think that's not bad. I mean, the DB covers the ground back up, but
stem a little bit and press these corners vertical. There's actually some stress, and you don't see it on this play because you'll see this corner right here kind of just sit on it.
I don't think
he's not even really considering taking the vertical as a threat.
I think
but he's able to get his hips low, few extra steps, little chop.
As soon as Jonathan Mingo cut, and he kept his head back on the receiver this whole time. As soon as Jonathan Mingo cut back, he was cutting back. I don't think he was really sitting on anything. I think he was kind of had a 3-yard out on him, like maybe that he might go for a vertical. But once he saw Jonathan Mingo cut back, he did the same. He cut back. Yeah, I do the same thing. Well, I try to carry all the groceries, except I got 2 boys that want to carry groceries too, so I got to leave some for them. I got to leave a bag for my 3-year-old, and my 8-year-old tries to do the same thing. He tries to carry whatever he can, so it takes away from me. I let them do it. I've been doing it, so that's what I've done my whole life. It's their turn to develop that in that manner.
Did a little extra movement, but overall, simple enough catch for Jonathan Mingo, and I think this is where you're really going to...
I do the same thing too, though, Messi. Like, I feel like that's kind of a challenge every time I bring groceries in. I think it's a challenge to try to carry all the bags at once. I try to only have one trip.
To see him utilize in Dallas Cowboys offense. We know we like the hitches, the comebacks, the curls for the girls, especially under Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I'll be glad to see that Brian Schottenheimer gets rid of all these comeback and curl routes. That's was the number 1 route the Cowboys ran all under Mike McCarthy, and it was so annoying. Like, the play calling under Mike McCarthy was idiocracy. Like, literally, it was idiocracy. Most good either coordinators or offensive play callers are going to call plays in a manner to make a lot of the plays look like each other, but that you can build off of each play to make it look like one thing, but you're going to do something else to throw the defenses off. Mike McCarthy can't do that. Mike McCarthy cannot do that, and his play calling puts players in bad position and makes them look like doo-doo. Mike McCarthy's play calling was ass, and even Aaron Rodgers called him out for it before, as they were getting rid of Green Bay was getting rid of Mike McCarthy.
Now, the one thing
and his time management as well
that really stands out when you watch Jonathan Mingo's film is the ability to play through contact, and you'll see that on this play right here. I think this is versus Quinyon Mitchell, so he's lined up top. And you're going to see, once again, simple enough route, but this time he's going to take the outside release, stress the outside, and you're going to see Quinyon Mitchell's hands all over him. So good hands, get those hands off me, bro. Play through contact and secure the catch. Now, this is kind of a body catch, right? You don't want to catch with your body, but it's securing the catch. But I like the way that he's able to fact, and you'll see that here in a few more plays. because he is going to be, quote unquote, our X wide receiver. Now, when you think of X, especially for Dallas Cowboys fan, you think of Big X, Dez Bryant, right? So I don't want to say Mingo is that, but this is where primarily he's going to play. So he's going to get a lot of press coverage, a lot of man coverage on the outside.
Mingo to be a deep threat, red zone target. He's got the body size to be a big person in the red zone or in the end zone to be able to help us in the red zone. These comeback curl routes, curls for the girls. That's why nobody likes the Cowboys, because they throw curls for the girls too much all the time. Every time they get on the field, it's annoying, and it gets them in more trouble than it helps them out with, and it's why defenses come out of the game from the Cowboys saying that the Cowboys are predictable. And we've been hearing that for years.
So he's going to have to be that big.
When me from my couch can call the play when I see it lined up under Mike McCarthy or Jason Garrett, for the fact. Kellen Moore was a little better with it, but not when he was with us. He hadn't developed into what he was at the Super Bowl run with the Eagles, because he wouldn't run the ball for jack with us either. And he was kind of in the predictable realm because he always fell back to his Scott Lanahan and Boise State roots and just air the ball out. So I feel like a lot of times we've wasted a lot of potential great receivers in the Cowboys uniform because just the coaching doesn't put them in the proper position for them to be their best self.
Physical guy that kind of fills that void of what we lost when we lost Michael Gallup. On this play right here, once again, just showing being able to fight through the contact. Simple route, curls for the girls.
Well, I'll probably look at that.
He's on top of him. He's covering him, hands all over him, and still being able to secure the catch. So overall, good play from Jonathan Mingo on that catch.
I think he had like 4 catches at most all year last year. So there can't be a whole lot of film for us to break down with him. He didn't get a lot of time.
Now, this angle really ain't got much to do with Jonathan Mingo, but for some reason, I don't know what you did, bro, and I really can't help you because you're not in Dallas anymore when it comes to Trey Lance. A lot of people are feeling like number 19 isn't capable of playing football at the NFL level. I don't know who you offended, what you said, what you done, bro, but look at this dot from Trey Lance.
See, I wasn't one of those people. I wasn't one of those people that thought that Trey Lance couldn't play at the NFL level. I thought that he hadn't had a fair shot, that we hadn't got to see his full talent be exercised. A quarterback position where players usually get better with experience in their first 4 or 5 years. He's only had 6 games, and he didn't even get to start all of those 6 games. He only got to start 2 games, and those 2 games, one he got hurt, the other was a torrential rain where they were literally the Bears and the 49ers were sliding on the field in the rain. It was raining so bad. And then the second game, and he didn't play that bad that game, but it was a torrential rain. Like, it was a horrible performance for a game by the weather. And then the second game, he got hurt. So we really have never got to see him under a starting position with starting caliber players playing football. We just haven't got to see it. Preseason, you play with backups and all that, and in these other games, when they're pulling all the starters out and putting them in, again, he's not with all the he's with backups. There'll be some starters out there, but the majority of the time they're backups. So it's just like right here, this is a starting lineup. These are the starters here, and that's Ferguson. So this is a starting lineup here, but he just didn't get this opportunity very much.
Footwork, is decent.
And I would have loved to have seen a whole lot more from him last year while Dak Prescott was hurt, when we knew what we had in Cooper Rush and didn't know what we had in Trey Lance. But Trey Lance and Cooper Rush were both going to be free agents at the end of the season. I think that they should have played the guy that they didn't know as much about, because we knew that the season was at a loss already. So we were really playing for pride. So for us to keep Cooper Rush in there and not give this boy a chance just shows that they just completely lost faith and threw that 4th round pick in the trash can. And I hope the same doesn't come true for Jonathan Mingo. Hopefully he turns out and he can be a balling wide receiver for us. It's hard to say when we haven't seen the opportunity given.
Little bit of hole right there. But look at this dot from Trey Lance. Just watch the trajectory on this ball and how tight this window is. Look how tight this window is. Bam. You know what I'm saying? That's a dot.
That is a hell of a throw. Here, I'll put this at full screen here real quick, and we'll show this back.
The trajectory on this ball and how tight what you said, what you done, bro. But look at this dot from Trey Lance. Footwork, it's decent. A little bit of hole right there. But look at this dot from Trey Lance. Just watch the trajectory on this ball and how tight this window is. Look how tight this window is. Bam.
That is,
you know what I'm saying?
A throw.
That's a dot from Trey. So I know this kid gets a lot of criticism, a lot of hate. I don't know why. I think it's because he was
and like I said, I don't
so
give
early.
Them the hate.
But I'm not going to sit here and act like this kid can't play football. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to do it. All right. So, anyways, back to Mingo. Now, the one thing that really stands out when it comes to Jonathan Mingo, like I said, his size, he's 6'2", about 225, and he had the athleticism coming out of Ole Miss. But also, he is a very willing blocker, especially in the run game. And you saw that at Carolina. And you saw it in some traits in Dallas as well. But you'll watch on this play right here.
What do you mean, Messi? No, I'm talking. This ain't a video that I made. This is a video by, well, it says Attack on Cowboys because I keep forgetting to change the title name. But this is... Hold on. Let me fix this real quick. I think it's CFO Nation. All right, we change it to what it is. CFO Nation. All right, let me get back into it.
The physicality, moving his corner on out the picture. Now, whoever this is didn't do a good job of reading his blocks, but that's not what we're focusing on. But good quality blocker, physical, driving. So, you know, he's going to do those little small things. He's going to do those little small things, especially in the blocking game. You'll see it also demonstrated on this play right here. Now, you put a Dallas Cowboys logo on his helmet. More than likely, this might be a penalty, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, right? So simple little swing right there. You can watch Jonathan Mingo put somebody in the dirt, you know, to lead to the touchdown. So overall, good, willing.
Called the penalty on Jonathan Mingo if he was a Cowboy, maybe, but his hands were out. Like, but they may still call it tripping.
Blocker when it comes to Jonathan Mingo, so that could have led to some attraction.
Yeah, this is like a remake of that video, Messi. So I'm kind of remaking the video that I made yesterday that was doo-doo, that I wasn't able to give the performance that I'm giving right now with you guys. So this is the new version of yesterday's film because that was just trash, and I apologize for that.
When it comes to bringing him alongside the Dallas Cowboys. Now, is this fourth pick worth?
The black tarp? Dude, get your ass off my porch. Go. You're just an asshole, ain't you? You're just an asshole, ain't you? You're just gonna chew up everything that ain't yours. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go take care of and get my dog cleaned off the porch before he tore my grill cover up to shreds. I guess he was out there wanting to chew on it like a little butthead. What up, Wicked? What is good? What is good? It's a remake from yesterday.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's around with the 4th round pick. But we'll have to see how it all translates. On this play right here, lined up in the slot, so it shows some of that versatility, not just playing the outside, but can move inside. Simple slot fade right here. Does a good job of kind of selling up the little inside shoulder route. Right. Let's go back. Right. You'll see him playing right there. Right. See that little quick little motion? It's right there. Right. To get upside, to stack the corner. And this is really just on Bryce Young.
Yeah,
so, I mean, look at all this.
Bryce Young is going to end up being a better quarterback than most people are thinking. If they get some good talent around that young man, I think he can thrive. Some good talent, some good coaching. I think he has some good expectations going forward.
Green up here. This should have been an easy completion, but of course he has to slow down, gear down. Does a bad job of locating the ball. Ain't no telling where the hell it is, so it must have been a miscommunication. But overall, good route. So you could run, slot fade with them, and it looks like he has that ability. You definitely got to put that on the dot, and we have a quarterback in Dak Prescott that can definitely do that. And this is where all the monsters and the zombies in the comments say, "Oh, Dak can't make that throw either." Whatever. Okay, cool, bro.
Yeah,
all right. Now, the one thing also when it comes to Mingo is just red zone opportunities. Like I said, he didn't have any touchdowns in his career. We got the same amount. So hopefully that will change if he's going to be wide receiver 2 in Dallas. But, this cornerback right here is setting up for, he's giving him the inside release. He's giving the inside. How can you tell, Tuck? Look at his pips. Look at his shoulders. He doesn't want him to go outside. So I'm giving you everything in the inside. Now, he could have possibly did a much better job of selling the outside first and getting this corner to maybe open up just a little bit more, because this corner is sitting on it, right? But even with that, it's a good throw, and I really can't tell from this angle. I think the cornerback makes his gets his hand on the ball.
What up, OG? What it do, brother? What it do? Welcome.
Right, makes a play, but it's just some of those little subtle things where it's like maybe if you would have got him to open up just slightly right there and sold this a little bit more, that would have gave you the space that you needed and the separation that you needed for Bryce Young to make this completion. But ultimately, it's an incomplete pass, and that's no touchdown. Now, when it comes to Jonathan Mingo, especially after the catch, it leaves a little to be desired. It's not explosive. He's not a yak guy that you can get the ball on.
And shout outs to you as well, Crystal. Thank you. And shout outs to you, like I said. Of course, Messi.
Things happen. So you'll see on this play right here, it's a simple little corner route. Once again, fight through the contact. Okay, boom, you're out in space. All right, so now it's showtime. You can either turn upfield and go this way. What you're going to do? All right. So he turns upfield a little bit, hits the brakes slightly, few little extra choppy steps. Okay, cool. Missed tackle right there. Now, you have this defender right here. What you're going to do a good job of setting him up, make him take his ankles. Now you have all of that. Look at all that, y'all. Look at all of this. There's nobody in range besides this corner. You should be off to the races, and I 1000% guarantee you guys, if this is Luther Burton, this is possibly a house call. If this is some of these wide receivers talking about the draft, this is a house call. But when it comes to Jonathan Mingo, he gets chased down from behind. He kind of slows down. So it's just that sense of urgency as a wide receiver.
This second cutback here, and he just keeps his speed going forward. That guy behind him wasn't going to catch him as fast because he would have been able to continue picking up speed.
That I would like to see from Mingo. Where's that dog? Where's I'm not going to be denied, and we're going off to the races. It's kind of like I got the ball. Like, what do I do with this? Kind of hesitant. I'm kind of peeking over my shoulder.
Man, that safety was coming back in though hot. So he may not have got quite as far as I was saying because of how hot that safety was coming in, but he still probably would have got up to about here. And he still probably would have made it to about the 50. or whatever, wherever it was.
Turn up, bro.
Yeah,
Let's
he
turn
probably
things
would have
up a
made it.
notch now that you got the ball in your hands.
He probably
And I
would have
feel
made
like
it to
that's what
about,
makes Jonathan
where did he
Mingo
get
kind of
stopped at? He
lackluster
gets
for
stopped like
me
right
is
here, right?
I need a
He gets
playmaker
stopped like
that
right
can
here.
make things happen once he has the ball in his hands. And I just don't think that is
Yeah,
Jonathan
he
Mingo
probably would have got another 5.
at
He
this
probably
point in
would
his
have got another
career.
5 yards.
And this play,
He probably would have got another 5 yards out of that had he not did that second cut up.
kind of just was
Not
like,
cut up,
all
but
right,
cut back.
but we don't just talk about the good or just the negative. We talk about both sides. Even though it's a good route and good catch, this is where I would say we need to draft a wide receiver. We need a playmaker. And what do I mean by this play right here? Once again, he's going to get open. Now, this is the fourth quarter. It's like a minute 25 left. I think the score is like 9-25, whatever. So they're probably not going to come back, but be that as it may, okay? You have Jonathan Mingo coming off. Good job of selling the route. Simple corner route.
He's got good position, but
Boom. All right. So fourth quarter, you're down, right? You haven't been in the end zone in your entire career. What do you think he's going to do? A, spin because he feels his pressure and spin back into the end zone. B, turn up field, stiff arm this corner and dive for the pylon. Or C, just run out of bounds. And when I saw this play, I'm just like, come on, dog. Come on, dog. It's just, I'm just gonna run out.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, that's poor. That's money. That's money making decision right there. That's a money making decision right there. That's him saying, hey, I don't feel like getting hit. So I'm just gonna run it out of bounds. No, boy, take that hit. Lower that shoulder. Or spin back. Do something. You got the wheels. You got the legs. We saw the jukes in the last clip. Come on, bro. Like, your team hasn't been in the end zone all night. You're going to run out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Are you serious right now? Like, you had one man to beat. A cutback, a stiff arm, or a quick stop and let him go in front and then cut behind him. Like, that's what I would have done. I would have got it. I would have acted like I was going to keep going. Stop. Let his momentum carry him out of your way and walk it in. He ain't going to get to you till you're in the end zone. Come on now. Now, obviously, we saying this in hindsight. We're not there running the play. Maybe they're trying to get the clock stopped. I don't know. But I think he could have got the end zone if he actually tried to.
Now, it could be in fairness to Mingo. Maybe that's what he was coached to do. But like I said, it's a minute 25 left. So even since you're playing the timeout game, come on, dog. Like, any wide receiver, you're going to try to make something happen. You got to try to make something happen. I just feel like him just going out of bounds, toughness, no stiff arm, no spin, no dive for the pylon, dive for the end zone. This is why the Dallas Cowboys need to go get a threat at the wide receiver too.
I hear you, Messi. I hear you, bro. I mean, you can put all that focus in the football now.
So I know they gave up
UFL.
a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo.
I need to react to a UFL game. I really do. I really need to react to a UFL game.
I feel like he's a good rotational piece, but honestly, if we want to be fair, I can say that honestly, Jalen Tolbert has been a lot more productive in his NFL career than Jonathan Mingo. But there's some upside potential. There's some size. The blocking is there. Maybe, Coach Junior Adams can turn water into the wine. But as of right now, y'all, I think there's a lot left and a big when it comes to Dallas Cowboys, especially at the wide receiver 2 spot, man. So it's your boy J Tuck. Comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on all social media platforms at JTuck151. If you love draft content, you're at the right spot.
And again, there is CFO Gang, CFO Sports. I put CFO Nation. That's his name. It's CFO Sports. Make sure y'all go check him out. Cool dude, great content. Always gonna be honest and on the real with you. Never gonna fluff it up and put the frosting on the cake on you. He's always gonna tell you how he feels and go by what the statistics and his eyeballs tell him. All right, so I believe we have how many more clips here? I think I've got 2 more clips. Let me see. All right, short clip. Fairly short clip. These 2 clips are probably shorter. This is Mattydubs. Shout out Mattydubs in this video here. This is why Kiar Elam is a massive steal for the Dallas Cowboys. This is the cornerback that we traded from the Bills that everybody says is a bust. A lot of people don't understand that this young man was playing out of position because the coaches that brought him into the Bills uniform weren't the coaches he was playing under. He played under a zone system that maybe didn't fit him quite the way the original coaches were going to fit him with their system. I think he could be better in a man position myself. That do some zone, but we'll see. See what this has to say here. Shout out again, Mattydubs.
The Dallas Cowboys are making a very good trade here, acquiring former Buffalo Bills first-round pick in Kaiir Elam. The Bills are receiving a 5th and a future 7th-round pick for Kaiir Elam, up a 6th-round pick in return. I want to break down who is, why he's a good player, and why I think this is a come-up for the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to break it all down. First player we're going to notice here is going to be straight zone coverage here. So Kaiir Elam's job is to strictly read the quarterback's eyes. Most of the time, quarterbacks will tell you where they're going with the football by using their eyes. So Mac Jones is the quarterback.
We're going to see a flat by the wide receiver and kind of like a go ball to the outside. Now watch Kaiir Elam. Once Mac Jones drops back in the pocket, his eyes
are solely on Mac Jones. Now Mac Jones is immediately going to look over here at Christian Kirk, and Kaiir Elam kind of baits him a little bit and almost jumps us for a pick six. This guy's got really good instincts, and this season ranked as the 69th best cornerback in the NFL in terms of pass coverage. Now when you do the math, over 223 cornerbacks in the NFL, 69 is actually pretty damn good when you think about, well, there's 3 starting quarterbacks on corners on every team. I don't know what the math is, but he's within the starting echelon of corners in the NFL. And to only give up what they did, it's an absolute steal. All right, now, you guys know I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep it a buck, right? He was not great when it comes to his first couple of years in the NFL, but this last season really felt like he broke out. We're going to get a quick bubble screen here. Wide receivers trying to block up here. I mean, this is a perfect play call, but watch Elam here. Does a great job breaking right through and making a big-time stop in the back.
This guy does a really good job. Shout out again, Mattydubs. He does a really good job in breaking these videos down enough. That's why I'm not breaking into and pausing the video near as much, because there's not as much to pause. He's breaking it down pretty damn good, in my opinion, and I agree with everything this man is saying.
Backfield, right? Now, Kaiir Elam ranked the 35th best run defending corner in the NFL. And
that's a pretty good stat. That means that there's only a couple number 2s that are playing better than him.
The 69th best cover corner in the NFL. So obviously you're getting a guy who played about 300 reps this year, 300 snaps, well in those limited snaps. Now, listen, it is a small sample size, and maybe the Bills are trying to trade high on a good season, but this is a guy with a ton of potential. Was a first-round pick for a reason, has IQ, has, ball skills. This guy can be really good.
And that IQ means a lot. That he can learn and produce it with a high IQ is a very high standard for what I would like on this football team. Like, I want some smart, athletic football players that are really good at what they do.
Is it worth it, the trade? Hell yes. They barely gave up anything for a former first-round pick. Now, here's a play in run defense. Again, 18th best.
Sorry about that.
Not 18th best, but 35th best run defending support as a corner. And here's another one, gets by, right, disengages, gets a stop in the backfield for a loss of 1. I really do like Kaiir Elam. I might be a little bit high than others, but look at him contain the edge here, bite down, and then make a tackle. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. When you look at the Cowboys team right now, obviously you have Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs and Kalen Carson, right, Andrew.
I'm really hoping that Kalen Carson comes back from his injury with a lot, looking like he did right before he got hurt, because he was looking decent, and then he got hurt. And then Trayvon Diggs, we don't know when we're getting Trayvon Diggs back. In my opinion, it's probably after Thanksgiving. I really don't think we're gonna get him back any sooner than that, to be honest. And same really with DeMarvion Overshawn. We are seeing videos of DeMarvion Overshawn out there dancing. We are seeing that he has some breaking news there's another video clip of Mark Holmes. I watched some of it. I may play that video talking about DeMarvion Overshawn because I didn't catch all of what he said either. But yeah, this video is
Booth, all cool. And they take a lot of risks on guys that were former highly drafted because of those assets, those traits, those characteristics that they have to be first round picks, right? So they're just hoping this guy.
I like that he's coming up to tackle. I do like to see when a cornerback is coming up and making tackles. That's something I like seeing. That's something Trayvon Diggs got really upset about a beat reporter calling him out last year. Like, he came out the locker room, like, he checked his Twitter. What, you talking shit? He came out the locker room and was talking shit to him. and ran his mouth and then went back in the locker room and ended up making up with him later throughout an interview. But still, like, I was kind of just a little bit disturbed to see that Trayvon Diggs' first thing he does when he goes into the locker room after a loss is check Twitter. Like, that was a little bit unwanted, but that was what it was. Hopefully we do get him back, and hopefully he comes back the way he did prior to the injury. But this boy comes up to tackle. I love that. I love seeing a cornerback that's going to come up and tackle.
Guy pays out, right? We don't know what's going to happen, but in terms of what they gave up and what they're getting in return, I think this is a big-time pickup for a team that just needed more depth at corner. He's not going to be asked to be a day-one starter, and if he does, I think he'll do pretty well. Last season, the Dallas Cowboys ranked 31st in yards allowed per pass. They also ranked 27th in opposing completion percentage allowed. So this team needed help in a bunch.
What it do, Miss Pittsburgh? What it do? It's cutting out a bit. Sound distant. Yeah, I don't know how to correct that. I've got to get the Wi-Fi corrected in the house. I've got to either get better Wi-Fi or see if Windstream can up what we have for a package here at some point, because yeah, the internet connection for the speeds of things that I'm trying to do here with this channel and the community, it makes it hard for the performance. Yesterday was a big telling show on that. Today has been much smoother as far as that goes, but yeah, there is still a little lingerness there for sure.
Areas 28th in yards allowed per carry. Again, I think Elam's a good run support corner. I don't mind this.
Thank you though, Crystal.
At all, man. I like this trade for the Cowboys. I really think steal for them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
I agree. I think this is going to be a very valuable player for the Cowboys. I think he's going to come across and do some good things for the Cowboys. I really have a lot of faith put in what I think the coaches might be able to do, getting the right pieces in this locker room and getting the right personnel and the right character of person in this locker room to build this culture and to work for each other as a team and actually come out there and win some games. Like I said, I think this whole season is going to be just a build-up for what could be to come. And if it starts off with a bang, I'm not going to be completely surprised. But I don't expect it to start off with a bang with them just winning games. I think there's going to be a little bit of a process. I think it's going to take a little time to get everything adjusted, all the players doing what they're supposed to. But after that, I think it'll start kicking off, and I think this team will start picking up and doing things and playing much better football later on in the season and into the following seasons. This right here is AOC, again, Attack on the Cowboys. Says Dallas Cowboys working on trades and not done yet in free agency. Micah Parsons talk confirmed. All right, so we're going to go ahead and listen to this. Again, if you want to watch this video, I'm probably not going to play the entire video because I'll probably cut out some places where his opinions on the video are. But if you want to go watch this whole video, make sure you go check out AOC, Attack on the Cowboys. Again, I talked about it earlier in the video. I'm just going to re-announce because this is the last video. Well, it might be the second to last video clip that I'm going to play. And again, I don't own the rights to any of these videos. These are owned by the people that I mentioned prior. Just using them for fair use terms and for educational purposes only. To be able to critique, break down and give my opinion on But I'm right. I'm gonna go ahead and get into it.
Yet as it pertains to player acquisition prior to the draft, and gives us updates on Dak Prescott and some other players they're trying to get an early extension done with. Be sure to tap that subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's get right into it, as only Attack on Cowboys can do it for you. Also, a little Easter egg at the end of this joint, because there's something that I know no one else is going to bring.
I hate Crystal. Yeah, I enjoy watching them, but it is a lot. It does feel a lot better when they win, though. I ain't gonna lie. It don't feel good. Some of them losses really don't feel good. Some of them got hard to watch.
Bring up that I'm going to let you know. So you see here, my partner, John Machota with the Cowboys Collective. Be sure to catch us this week, Wednesday and Thursday. We got a brand new time slot on Thursdays. We're going to be going live at 8 p.m. my time, Central Time on Thursdays for now, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to catch us. But John Machota reports Cowboys EVP Stephen Jones said there's no disappointment that they haven't gotten a new deal done yet.
I have iterated nothing for relating to this video here, but I have iterated this previous to this now. This is, I believe, Jerry Jones last year being the man in control, because previous to this year starting, he did not have a co-owner position or title to his name. He was vice president of player personnel, and he was chief operating officer. This man is now co-owner and chief operating officer, and is taking almost all of the interviews now pertaining the head figure of the Dallas Cowboys. I think that this is starting to become more of a Stevens team and Jerry falling back. And, would expect so at the age that Jerry is. He needs to be able to be a lot stress-free because of the age and stuff that he is. He needs to fall back some. He needs to let the young ones ride behind him. And I believe that when Steve Jones becomes the main face of the Cowboys, that he will then hire Will McClay as the GM, which is why Will McClay has probably been with the Cowboys for as long as he has. It's probably because he's been promised this position, and now it may be coming to fruition. So we may be seeing this may be the start of change for the Cowboys. What up, Osman? What it do? Things have looked a lot different this offseason in comparison to other seasons. Just wanted to break that down here for a quick second. And I believe this is where the root of that cause and effect is for why we're seeing different things coming into play for the Cowboys and how they're directing business this offseason.
With Micah Parsons. Listen, he said, quote, "We've had visits with Micah. Jerry and I have. We feel good about that." Quote, "Some guys want to visit and some guys don't want to visit about their money. We respect both ways. But if players want to come in to us, we got an open door, whether it's Jerry or myself. Micah likes to visit, so that's a good thing." Steven declined to speculate if Parsons will be at OTAs and minicamp if a new deal isn't done. Quote, "We have a great working relationship with Micah." I need y'all to pick up
what he's about to say. Is what we're not hearing is Micah's management is David Mulugeta, one of the top agents throughout the NFL, and he represents a lot of star players. I think there might be some rifts in the wind between Micah Parsons and his agent, David Mulugeta. We'll see what AOC has to say about this here. I believe that might be where he's going with this message based on some previous videos. I know he has a relationship, in a sense, a relationship with Micah Parsons' brother, Terrence Parsons. So he does get some very good news coming from that angle. I know there's only so much still that can be said prior because contracts and star players, you know, as a content creator, you can only say so many things that haven't been produced yet by the team or the person or the player themselves. So even with his close connection, he can only say so much. But I want to see what he does when he breaks this down.
about putting down right here, right? I'm about to bring it back home for you. Think the world of him. We've had good visits with him. Feel good about where we're headed. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Jones just vindicated me, okay? He just essentially let all of you folks know that yes, the Dallas Cowboys have in fact been speaking with Micah Parsons about a contract. Very important to note, he never once brought up Micah's agent in that quote. Why didn't he bring up Micah's agent? Maybe something that AOC was trying to hint to you guys is actually what's going on.
Man,
I promise y'all.
Definitely big props to AOC because he has been on this now for probably over a week or right about a week's time. Been hinting and kind of, like I said, he can only say so much because if he produces it before it comes out and he leaks it, then the relationship that he does have with said people, those relationships could sour. So I would hate to see, I would doubt to see that he would put his reputation on that line. I know I wouldn't, so I wouldn't expect he would either, especially with how good he is and what he's brought his channel up to so far in the past couple of years. It's been phenomenal. But yeah, props to him on this. He has been breaking this story pretty much.
Not put my credibility out there knowing that there's possibility it could blow up in my face. I'm telling y'all right now, what happened is Jerry and Steven went directly to Micah Parsons to discuss a new contract. Micah Parsons was happy about what they discussed. Micah Parsons' agent wasn't happy about the fact that they discussed anything without him being present. That is where you start getting the reports of, oh, there's been no talks. There's been nothing happening because the agent is like, they haven't talked to me yet. There hasn't been any talks yet. Steven just let us know 100% they have been talking. He said, quote, I feel good about where we're headed. They have been talking. A contract.
So there's obviously a rift going on. And again, that smile where I paused it is perfect for AOC. He deserves that picture. That's a hell of a picture for him. Hopefully someone clips that, sends it to him. But yeah, that's a great picture. The reward, the smile from feeling the reward of knowing that you're right and people have been telling you or talking to you like you weren't right, but the confirmation is coming through and it looks like it's in fact proven his previous statements correct. And shout outs to him again.
Close to being done as it pertains to Micah being happy with how the Cowboys initially approached him. Now, what we're working through is some high school petty stuff, and his agent is trying to do his job and essentially bend Jerry them over the table. And I don't necessarily think that Micah is on the complete same page with him as it pertains to how he's trying to go about this. And I'm just going to say this, y'all. This deal doesn't get done in the next month or two, I would keep a lookout on this situation because we may end up getting some interesting news as it pertains to Micah Parsons and this particular agent. Because if you look at the facts and line it up, that franchise tag that the Cowboys could use twice on Micah if they wanted to, it would actually be less money than if they were to give him the deal that they actually already were ready to offer him. The franchise tag would be less money. So the agent better tread very, very carefully trying to flex his muscles on this one and trying to add another feather in his cap. That's all I'm going to say as it pertains to that. Now, I need y'all to pay attention to the fact that he never mentioned the agent. Not one time. Usually, when they talk
never mentioned him.
About Dak, Jerry them made it very clear. They were speaking to Dak and his agent and his people and all that, blah, 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 blah. Steven has said, Micah. We have a good relationship with Micah. Micah came and visited us. We spoke to Micah. His agent wasn't there. That's what's going on. Now that Steven pretty much just confirmed it, I'm just letting y'all know and kind of filling in the lines for you guys, right?
Doing a hell of a job
now,
doing so.
Let's get to the next bit of news from today, which is going to be the fact that the Cowboys are not only looking to extend Micah Parsons, but they are keeping the door open for extension conversations with Deron Bland and
Tyler Smith. That would be good to hear. That'd be good to hear.
Jake Ferguson.
Whoever.
Both guys are entering contract years. Stephen Jones said, quote, those are really good football players that we want to keep around. There are scenarios where we sit down and have a visit with them. You got to have two sides to get a negotiation done. We certainly will look at that with those two guys. Why did he just say that part? The agents. This is the hidden aspect of all of this stuff that you guys always get so angry at the Cowboys for. The agents. I told y'all this with Dak's deal.
So this is the same agent. I'm taking it that what he's getting at is that this is the same agent that represents Micah, also represents Deron Bland, Jake Ferguson, coming into their contract years as well.
When people are losing their minds, the agents have to want to negotiate. Because if you're an agent and you know that if you actually just hold off for another season, you could get $5 to $6 million more on your contract than you would have got you signed this year. Why wouldn't you wait if you're an agent? Guys, we got to make sure we start getting angry at the correct parties, because I'm going to tell y'all right now, based off of stuff that I know behind the scenes, I'm just not going to intimate to you guys, bro. The Joneses have been trying a lot more than what you guys may be willing to think or give them credit.
That, like I've said, and he said it in previous videos that he's had, that the Cowboys process throughout offseason has been different this year. The changes have been there. That we've been calling for change from Cowboy front office, and we are receiving it as fans. It may not be in the form or fashion that a lot of us have been looking for. We were, some of us were looking for us to bring in at least a star or two to kind of help the team, and then we got excited about that when they freed up all that space. But what he's also saying is that this may not be over. If this may not be over, it says not done yet in the title on trades. So we'll have to see as he continues to break this video down. But
tried a lot more with Dak.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that's going to put a stain in a lot of these agents' mouth, because if star players start doing that and contracting for themselves, that's going to lose a lot of revenue for a lot of these agents. If you get a bunch of these star players and they're starting to represent themselves and feel like they don't need the agent because they know they're smart enough to know what their money needs to be, and they don't need to give a cut of it to an agent. Now, a player may take a cheaper deal because they're not giving a cut to an agent. This is something that also could play a factor in this. Because you got to think that $4 or $5 million, $7 million, whatever it is that you got to give the agent out of that deal, for his part, that's less money that you were already not getting. So you could then take a cheaper deal for the team, and it be the same benefits for you, but be more beneficial for your team to help build around you. See, the agents are really where a lot of that money goes. The agents are the ones that normally are fighting for deals and doing players and teams dirty, because the agents are the ones that are in there in the conversations. Now, a lot of players probably need the agent to represent them, and some of these agents do represent players the way they should be represented. But at the end of the day, the agent is what separates the team and the players from building a team that's team-friendly deal-wise with star players. Because the agent's always obviously going to have an unbiased opinion, even though it's going to be more in favor for his client. But it's going to be to not care so much about the team's problems. And the players still got to play on that team. So the agent could do players dirty by making them look bad to the team, by not taking deals that were in favor for the team or the player, but were in favor, in fact, for the agent. Stephen Jones is in his 60s, I believe. I mean, his dad's 82. So
than y'all may have think, and they've been trying with Micah, even though reports have been coming out to the contrary. And that's why I've been fighting against these reports, is because no. The reports are giving you guys the impression that the Cowboys are sitting on their hands and not trying to do stuff. They are. They're trying to get deals done. Their agents have to want to get the deals done. Right now, Micah's agent is in no worry. He is in no hurry. He has no reason to rush to get a deal done. Tom is on Micah Parsons' side, unless the Cowboys decide to use a franchise tag, which, interestingly enough, the main part about using a franchise tag is you have to have the cap space available currently to use it. the Cowboys just so happen to have exactly the amount of salary cap space left that the franchise tag could possibly fall under. So just gonna put that out there for you guys to think about. But yes, the Cowboys are working contrary to popular belief. Let's get into this next one, because this is also very interesting stuff. Again, from John Machota. Stephen Jones did let us know we're not done yet. We still got some things that are outstanding that we're trying to get done. Missed a few guys along the way too, in terms of the number just being a lot higher than we thought it would be on a couple of guys. Overall, we're real pleased with what we're able to do with our roster and help the team. They're not done yet. That's the main part.
Exactly. That's the main part. They're not done yet. They are still, like, maybe they wanted DK. We know that they wanted Cooper Kupp. Dak and CeeDee Lamb were out there actively trying to bring Cooper Kupp in. The Cowboys were interested in it, but then when they heard the number, they obviously, again, right here, they got shocked at the number and ended up not making the deal. And we could have had Cooper Kupp. Maybe we could have had DK. Who knows who else they may have been looking at. I think DK was a real valid option. I think that's the run that they whiffed on. For real. But
what you need to think about is they are not done yet. And in addition to that, they are also looking to make some trades. So again, everything
that trade part right there, that may be where that they find their receiver. They may find the receiver in that trade aspect of things.
Been telling you guys it's still in play. We're still in line for all of this, guys. Patience. There's a lot of premium players left on the market. Some of these guys could be waiting to post-draft. Some of these guys could be waiting for other circumstances. But Stephen Jones said,
I think that they may be waiting after the draft for some of these trade prospects, because what they're waiting for is if they go sign a player that is equal or more to the compensation pick that they received, they lose the compensation pick. So, but if they wait until after the draft and they use those compensation picks, then they don't lose those picks. So waiting after the draft benefits them because they can still get the players in the draft that they need. So that's part of the reason why the Cowboys play the waiting game, because we still have 10 picks, a lot of those being compensation picks for this year's draft. We had 11. We gave one away to pick up Kiar Elam and or Jack Sanborn, one of those two. But because we got both of those players via trade. But it's just crazy. I'm hoping this season turns out the way it seems like it's going to be.
We've got several things that
and I didn't intend on playing this whole video in its entirety and reacting to it its entirety. But, man, shout-outs to AOC for a third time here tonight, or a fourth time, technically. Third time on this video. The video is just good enough that there was no parts that I really felt like I needed to skip through to get to the content that was necessary. Again, he is part of the content in that favor, because he is an entertaining dude, and he's definitely intelligent and knows how to get his point across with the videos being as accurate as possible. So that's why I'm playing it more in its entirety and just reacting to it. Hopefully he doesn't have an issue with it. Shout out to him.
We're looking at from a trade standpoint, but certainly not to the point where we have a deal yet. He added that backup QB is still an option in free agency. So Cowboys are still looking for free agents. They are still trying to make some trades happen. And remember, Jair Alexander's out there. The Packers are trying to trade away.
That'd be a good pickup.
And the Cowboys are actually still currently bidding.
That would be a really good pickup at a position that we really need somebody there. I think Alexander played a great role for the Cowboys.
On pretty decent free agents right now. The most recent free agent was EJ Speed. He just signed with the Houston Texans, but he was in fact in play for the Cowboys. And the Cowboys, as far as like them talking about the players
that the Cowboys wanted to get but didn't pull the trigger on and went somewhere else. Actually went to our little brother team, I like to call them, in the Houston Texans.
That they were in on. Cooper Kupp
was Cowboy. What it do, brother? Welcome through.
One of those guys, and we know his price was too high. Who knows? Stephon Diggs could have been one of those guys. And his price was way too high, and they just knew it already.
And that surprised the hell out of me. The price that Stephon Diggs got was, to me, incredibly too high for someone coming off of an ACL tear on the back end of their career turning 30. Like, come on now. Like, that man got, what, $23 million a year? I thought he would have been more of like a $12 to $15 million receiver at that age that he is. For his possibly final contract.
Are still working. Cowboys fans, you can still chill. You can still remain relaxed. You don't have to flip over any tables yet. I promise y'all, we are still in line with everything I thought was going to happen this offseason. It's just going to take some patience, because now the last couple of moves they make via free agency or trade, these are going to be legit moves. These are likely going to be guys that are starting or playing huge roles on the team. So they need to make sure they really get this right. So I have no problem with them taking their time and making this happen, especially since everything is slowed down for pretty much everyone in the league, right? So no harm, no foul.
And I agree. I agree with him 100%. 100% on that. For sure. I'll go ahead and drop that video up out of here.
This is good.
All right. Yeah, so I agree with that. I mean, I definitely agree with that a lot. There was one other video I wanted to try to pull up. I said was the Mark Holmes talking about. Oh, where are you?
Ashton, never found that for 30%. Guess what mine was at? Yes. 4. Huh? 4. 0. So you want to plug my phone? Yeah. No. Look. It's just going on there. It's just turning on. Give me my phone. Now it's at 4. Give me my phone now. You're not using my face. What? You're not using.
Why not, Witten?
No.
She is using it.
No, she's not. I'm not using your thing.
All right, so Morbius, yeah, right here. Let's skip ahead.
To get the next season on, I am sick and tired of hearing from Eagle fans globating about how so we can get.
And again, I don't own the rights to this video. This is Mark Holmes. Oh, I ain't even got it in the screen for you guys yet. I'm sure you could hear it though. All right, screen share. Bam. Audio. Bam. 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 And there it is. Switch your video. Go ahead, take Kid Cowboy up out of here for a minute. Appreciate you tuning in, tapping in. I'm almost done. Here soon. This is the last clip, but I'm not playing this whole clip.
I sat down here.
Trying to find the clip to where he's talking about it.
It's never something that they did. The Marvin Overshown had tweeted out yesterday, okay, 10/12 last night, got an announcement coming next week with the whistly smiley face. The agents, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? So Ernie, the Cowboy fan, says he's back. Well, I would love for that to be it. Look, I'm like her. Tell me, please tell me. Let me heart that.
I'm pretty sure.
Retweet that. Repost that.
Witten.
No. See, that's one of those. I'll talk to you about it later. Oh no!
So it's not actually It's not actually any news on DeMarvin. He has news, but it's not coming until next week. So that news ain't coming until next week. I can go ahead and drop that up out of here. Shout outs to Mark, though. You want to watch that video in its full entirety, go ahead over to his channel, Mark Holmes, and check it out. But yeah, so we about to end this here. We've been on here for 2 hours now.
2 hours, 2 minutes, and 20.
Come on, dude. Hey, come on. So we've been on for 2 hours tonight, and really intended only doing an hour. But these clips still, even with going smoothly. Took a little longer than anticipated. Maybe I'll have to break them down a little smaller, or find a way to compress these videos a little more. Or maybe I'll have to fast forward through certain parts of them. I don't know. I don't want to have to pre-watch these videos before reacting to them, because to me that takes the reaction out of the video. So I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to make it as authentic as I possibly can and stay true to me and who I am, obviously, as a family person. As you hear my kids always in the background. That's just because this is where I work at. But yeah, so we're going to be popping up out of here. Hopefully everybody had a great night. Hopefully everybody stays blessed. We'll be live tomorrow for WWE Monday Night Raw. And hopefully I see as many of you over there as possible. Y'all stay blessed. Like I said, I'm Royal Rawls, and we about to be out.